Thinking about this story from my past always reminds me that I wasn't exactly the most stable person in my mid-20s. I had just gotten out of college with a degree in kinesiotherapy, but after several months of a fruitless search for a job that was actually in my field, I settled for a job in a waxing salon. I only did it because I was out of time and needed to get some kind of income before I went completely broke. But it was a completely dead-end job in the worst part of town. The area was known for robberies and gang activity and generally high crime rates, and we saw our fair share of that from the salon. Every time I went into work, the rotating cast of junkies that would constantly linger outside would harass me for money or try to solicit me for a free wax or something, which is a great way to start the day in a good mood. Unsurprisingly, I hated my life before long. For some reason, the salon was wildly popular with the residents of the neighborhood. There was no wonder why it was understaffed. The place always reeked, yet the customers never seemed to mind. Probably because they didn't notice it over their own stench. They were the most disgusting sort of people that you can imagine having to work on. None of them seemed to care about personal hygiene, which inevitably scared off 90% of the employees. It was like a salon for all the bums, lards, junkies, and lowlives in the hood to hang out at. I stuck it out for a few months though, and the longer I was there, the more I hated myself and everyone around me. Things came to a boiling point around the beginning of February, that time of the year right before Valentine's Day, when everybody wants to get a wax. It made the salon ridiculously busy, and since I was the newest hire, I got stuck with most of the work. For days on end, I didn't get a moment to breathe between clients, yet I still ended up behind and having to stay late with no overtime pay while my boss hid in her office. Every time they screwed me over, I got closer and closer to a full-on mental breakdown, but I was doing everything in my power to keep it together. But then, one day, just a few days before Valentine's Day, it was time to call up an appointment for a man named Homer.
Homer, we're ready for you.
At first, there was no response, and for a moment I thought they hadn't shown up and I might just get ahead of schedule. But of course that wasn't the case. The largest, hairiest man I've ever seen walked in and smiled at me, spiking my blood pressure even higher than it already was. I knew it would easily take me the rest of my shift just to wax this guy depending on what he asked for, and I was too busy to deal with that. Unfortunately, I had no choice.
What kind of wax will you be having today, sir?
A full body wax, please.
Are you sure?
Did I stutter? Did I say I wanted a Brazilian wax? Did I request a BBL? Yes, I'm sure! Now put some pep in your step, little lady. I don't have all day.
Okay then, right this way, sir.
I kept my cool and let him into the salon room in the back. There, I gave him the usual speech about undressing and getting comfortable, where I was very glad that he left his underwear on. I didn't waste any time getting to work. As soon as he laid down on the table, I
get elbows into the pressure points all over my back. That did not work. It only got worse. At some point, Taylor stood on top of me, walking up and down my back and burying the heels of her feet into the notches of them, jumping on me like I was some kind of trampoline. I could feel so many cracks in my joints, but it honestly felt more like